Hey, what's up? It's Zan, and welcome to episode 4 of my Life Lessons with Zan podcast, video and audio podcast. If you're listening as a podcast right now, thank you for tuning in and listening. And if you're on YouTube right now, thank you for watching. The Life Lessons with Zan podcast is essentially where I teach you about experiences that I've had, that lessons that I've learned in my life, and I give them to you, and I give them to you. And the point is to really draw up clarity for you, help you learn something new, or at the very least, make you feel seen. So today's episode, and I'm gonna go back and forth for those who are watching me, I'm gonna go back and forth between reading from my laptop per usual, just so you know what I'm looking at over here. But today's episode is about being seen. So this is episode 4, People See You. Today I want to talk about the fact that people see you. As in, people see what you do, they see what you're working on, they see how you present yourself and how you carry yourself in this world. Whether it matters to you or not, people see you. And more than seeing you, people pay attention to you. They pay attention to how you talk about yourself, how you talk about others, how you move. And this can be good or bad, depending on the person and depending on the type of situation you're in and context in general, right? But today we're gonna focus on the good things. So let me give you a quick story. About a week and a half ago, I was really active on social media. I remember I just had this thought in my mind that I had to start training for my goals more, and I had to start pursuing things more seriously, and I had to start posting on Instagram more, and I had to start being more consistent on YouTube. And all in all, I just had this idea of being a more active person on social media and taking my goals more seriously, my goals pertaining to social media more seriously. So I'm posting a lot, and I'm just, doing my thing. I'm interacting, I'm engaging, I'm trying to just get more content out there, right? And when it comes to my social media goals, I'm not very, I talk to people about my social media. I talk to people about like what I want to do with YouTube. I don't really inform people of my social media goals that often. I talk to people about them here and there, sparingly if the conversation comes up, but overall, it's something that I just feel like I have to prove to myself and I have to do for myself more. So the goals I have for my Instagram and the goals I have for my YouTube and where I want to take that, that's more of an internal dialogue that I have with myself that I don't necessarily share with people. I treat my social media and my YouTube goals very personally. I don't particularly like to share them with people too much or too often, just because I feel like it's something I have to prove to myself more than anything else. But because I have this mindset, I often forget that people watch me. I often forget that people are even engaging with me. Sometimes I think people don't even care. And I just kind of do my own thing and I move on in my own way because I don't really feel like I have a lot of people who understand my goals surrounding YouTube or understand my goals surrounding Instagram and why I care about it the way that I do. And because of that, I kind of just leave it alone. I just let myself do my own thing and I don't bother people about it, and I don't really expect people to ask me about it. And even though I post on YouTube, even though I post on Instagram and these spaces where you can clearly see someone, I still feel unseen because I don't feel like that many people really care about it that much, And this is not in a negative way, it's just, people have their own lives. They have their own things that they think about daily. They have their own things that they're concerned with. Sam, I know you're excited, but could you Samantha, could you tone it down? I'm making a video. Wait, no, she don't have to come downstairs. Could you just tone it down for a bit because I'm making a video?
What?
Can you tone it down for a bit because I'm making a video?
Sure.
Thank you. Mom was saying the same thing. I'll let you know when I'm done. And I just don't want that in the background. So thank you. Okay. But people have their own lives. People have their own things they're concerned with. People have their own things that they think of day to day. And I just don't feel like I'm necessarily that type of person or figure that someone would think of day to day necessarily, right? So a few days after I'm doing all this Instagram posting and all this YouTube posting and all this engagement, my brother calls me up. And if you're watching this, Justin, thank you. I love you so much. But my brother calls me up and he just speaks all this life and light into me about how he sees me, he sees what I'm doing, he sees that I'm on a momentum right now, to keep going, to keep pushing, that, he's so proud of me. And in my coming years and me growing up, when I look back on this, these are going to be very proud moments for myself. And I really needed to hear that, and it felt so divinely guided. Like, that conversation was like a breath of fresh air, because it's not often I really have those types of conversations with people regarding my work, regarding what I do, regarding my dreams. A lot of people, I feel like, in the creative space, I don't know if anyone else feels like this, but I know I do, in the creative space sometimes feels like people aren't as excited for you prior to. Academics and school and things are a different nature. People kind of celebrate as they go along, but for a lot of creators and freelancers and non-traditional paths, where you don't have, like, it's not common for us to celebrate as we go along. It's like when we reach this point, that's when we get all this celebration, that's when we get all this acknowledgement, that's when we get seen. So that being said, I felt so refreshed to get that acknowledgement and to feel seen and to feel heard, and to feel like someone else cared about my work. Like, that really mattered to me. And like I said, again, Justin, thank you so much for that. I love you so much with all my heart. But yeah, I wanted just to share that with you regarding feeling seen. It's really, really easy to think that no one sees you, to think that no one cares, to think that no one gives a fuck. But it's like the same way, like, you look at somebody and you're inspired by them, or you admire them, or you want something that they have. Like, every one of us has a trait like that. Every one of us has something to be craved or to be sought after, because all of us have our own individual gifts. And even if it's not for you, like on a YouTube platform, on an online platform, or on any type of social media, internet platform in general, there are people in your actual life who look at you and you're like, yeah, I want what that person has. I want what they have. They're great at this. They're great at that. I admire them. And they don't always tell you, you know what I mean? They don't always voice it out loud. And they especially don't always voice it out loud directly to you. But that does not mean that it's not there. That does not mean that it's not. That doesn't mean that you don't still light someone's life up, or, what you do is inspiring and motivating and really cool to somebody else. Like, and the story with my brother was just one of those stories. Like, a couple of situations have happened that have made me realize, oh my God, like, people see me. And that makes me feel good. That makes me feel special. And that, like, motivates me to go harder into what I want to do. That motivates me to be even more persistent in what I do and what I care about. So yeah. So for those of you who feel unseen, unheard, unknown, you're not, and it's hard to believe that, honestly. I know it's not easy to believe that, but you have to know that that's, like, the truth. Like, you're not unknown, you're not unheard, you're not unseen. People see you, people acknowledge you. People in their own, like, silent ways are validating you. People are validating you. People see you. So yeah. And that is episode 4 of the Life Lessons with Zan podcast. I hope you enjoyed. If you're watching on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed. If you're listening via podcast right now, thank you for supporting me. Thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for watching to the end of this video or listening to the end of this podcast episode. It really means a lot to me. I appreciate it. So yeah, I'll catch you next time, and be good.